Hi guys, it's Terry from V Says Creates. I am in a funk today. You know those days where you just like loads of little niggly annoying things happen and people don't get back to you and people are just rude, and I'm just in a real funk. So I've just finished editing a video that I'm going to post tomorrow, and I was like, and I've vacuumed, so I've tried to like get rid of some of this negative energy, and then I just thought, oh, I need to do something otherwise, and I've eaten half a block of Bourneville, so I'm like, I really need to just do something just to sort of like stop myself feeling so crappy. So I've come up here and I've pulled out some stamps that I have yet to use and some that I have used. Some of the Daisy Mae Faraway Forest collection, which I just love. It just makes me so happy, and I know that I love colouring and it's very mindful. So I'm going to stamp some images, show you what I've stamped already, and then I'm going to set about colouring, and hopefully that'll get me out of this funk. I'm sure you guys can relate. Oh, and if you're wondering why I look a bit like a Yeti, it's because my mum bought me this like fleecy poncho kind of thing. I kind of think it makes me look like Chewbacca, but it's really snuggly and warm. So I've stamped this little pumpkin house. I've stamped some images from like an add-on collection, which has got loads of lovely little images that you add on to these sorts of collections. I'll list all the products down in the description box below. I've pulled these two little guys out, a little elf, fairy, pixie, whatever, boy and girl. I've coloured her and stamped her a few times before. There's a few pictures of cards I've made with her on my Instagram. Dandelion Elf and Pocket Elf. So I'm going to stamp them. And then I don't know why there's two washing lines. They're both exactly the same, but hey ho, you know, washing line. I'm going to do a washing line. So my plan is I want to do like a panel, you know, like a shadow box card with like things at varying levels. So it's like you look inside and there's things at all different levels. So obviously like the pumpkin house will be at the back, and then with the washing line will be over here, and then this will be a bit more over here and stuff, and then like maybe the little creatures will be in the foreground. So that's the kind of thing I'm thinking. So I'm going to stamp my little elf people. So I'm really on a mission this year, 2021, to make sure that I use the gorgeous stamps and dies that I have bought over the years. Not even that long, actually. That I went a bit mad towards the end of, well, in 2020. So I have used a lot of the things that I've bought, but there are things that I haven't used. So I'm really on a mission to use things that I haven't used before. And hopefully that'll help me stop impulse buying things. I keep being really naughty. Like, I was meant to be having a no spend March, and like I was buying stuff. Like last night I was in bed and I ended up buying something. Got an email through from Crafter's Companion, and I had this like big sale on like this like storage products, which actually will be really useful, and it was like 15 quid instead of like about 70 quid. And it's like, who can pass that up? I know I can't. But I'm fast running out of storage space, which is hence why I bought that stuff last night. But yeah, so I'm just in a bit of a funk, and I'm aware of it, and I can feel it, and it's like I know what I need to do to make myself feel better. And like, if this is the first video you're watching, you're probably thinking, what the hell is this woman / girl, because people generally say I look like I'm about 25, but I'm really not. I'm pushing 40. But anyway, so if you've stumbled across this video and you're thinking, what the hell is this girl like rambling on about, like, it's fine. I am like mentally okay, although it's okay to not be okay. I have got a pen with that on somewhere, very, very close. It is okay to not be okay, but it's just a regular funk. It's not a highly, it's not nothing to be worried about. It's just a funk, but I don't like it. I don't like feeling like this. So I'm gonna get all this stamped. I've got my computer working its magic downstairs by exporting the video that I've just trimmed down. I'm playing about with the length of my videos as well because you know, like when I watch YouTube videos, I quite like long ones that are about half an hour because I can just get stuck in. But then sometimes, like if I'm just watching one when I'm eating lunch, I know that it is nice to have just like a short one to watch. So, and as I'm such a new YouTube channel, I'm playing about with stuff like that. So sort of figuring out whether I should be doing shorter videos, whether that might be what my audience wants, or you know, whether people prefer longer videos, or whether a mixture is good. I'm thinking probably a mixture is quite good. Yeah, so that's where I am. I'm sure you guys can relate. I'm sure I'm not the only person that eats half a block of Bourneville and stomps around the house and vacuuming when they're in a funk. But yeah, it's just not nice, is it? But anyway, we're focusing on positive things now. So so I have used a number of these stamps before, and then there was a really good sale on at Craft Stash, and they had loads of the dies to fussy cut, like to cut these elements out, which I was like, oh, that's amazing, because I don't mind a bit of fussy cutting, but with things like this that are so intricate, it's like, oh, you're really gonna probably struggle to fussy cut that. But the dies, to cut them out, like I've got the die to cut her out, I've got the die to cut this washing line out. I don't think I've got the little boy elf, but you know, every little helps, as the saying goes. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black because I'm going to be using my favourite mode of colouring today, or my favourite mode of colouring for the moment, which is alcohol markers. So I'm going to be using my Spectrum Noir alcohol markers, and I do really find this Memento Tuxedo Black, well, first of all, if you didn't know, you need to be careful which ink you use for what you're stamping. But so for alcohol inks, you need to use a water-based, a dye ink like Memento. So my go-to inks are sort of Memento Tuxedo Black for colouring with alcohol markers, and VersaFine Onyx Black for everything else, really. I love stamping my sentiments with this because they always come out so crisp and clear. So there we go. I've stamped up a load of stuff, and I'm going to get cracking on doing some colouring. I'm not going to do all of this on camera because obviously that would be a very long video. So I think I will start with this little cutie. I've got all of my alcohol inks down right next to me, actually. And when I bought this Spectrum Noir pen container, it came with this handy guide, which I thought was really good, this colour chart. So it enables you to pick your colours out so that you know what will work well with each other. And I've ticked all the ones that I've got, which, as you can see, is quite a few. My hand has reached for green turquoise. So these ones, I've got a tri-blend, which has got GT1, 2 and 3 in it, and it's a brush, which is my favourite. So I am going to start here, and I'll just talk you through a little bit in case you've never coloured with alcohol markers before. or you'd like some tips. So first of all, you'll notice that I'm colouring on a bit of cardboard. And that's because alcohol inks bleed through to the back of the card, so you can never colour straight onto the front of a card blank when you're using alcohol markers. And then there's a few different ways of colouring with them, but I think one of the most popular is going in with the lightest colour first, then the darkest colour for areas of shadow, which would obviously be, I think, here behind her ear and the little crease here. And then I always go around the edges to give it like a rounded look. Now, I'm not a professional artist, so if there's any professional artists out there watching this, they might say, no, you don't need to do that. But I do get complimented on my colouring quite often, so, you know, and for me, I think that it looks quite nice, so that is good enough for me. And then, so after you've gone into the shadows, you blend that out with the mid colour. So you always want to be using like 3 or 4 colours. I mean, having a tri-blend marker is really, really handy in this respect, because you've got the 3 colours there chosen for you. But if you haven't, just pick 3 colours and then follow the pattern. And then you go over it again with the lightest colour. And if that looks okay to you, grand. If you think, no, it looks a bit like it hasn't blended properly, or I'm not too happy with it, then you just repeat the process. Right, so I think I'm going to have a skirt matching, which is going to be a colour coordinated little elf fairy creature. It's going to have a matching skirt and hat. And I'm choosing my favourite colour palette to work with, because that's what I want to do. And it's my party, so I can. I love aquas and teals. When I was a child and I was asked what my favourite colour was, I always used to say blue. And then at some point that morphed into green. So then I think actually it's somewhere between the two, which is like aquas and teals. Okay, so I think her arm's going to be over her skirt, so there's going to be some shadow around there. Definitely going to be some shadow around this bit. And under here, some shadow cast from the dandelion that she's holding. And there'll probably be some shadows in the folds of her little skirt and the leaf portions. So I'm going to use the mid colour to blend this out. I've got the mushroom house in this kit as well, in this Daisy Mae line, and I've used that on several projects, which again I haven't got videos on because that was pre YouTube, but they're on my Instagram in case anyone's curious, which is just Veeks Tears. It's my Instagram. There is a link on my banner and on my about page. cute. And I could already feel the tension just ebbing away. Purples. Hydrangeas, purples. Lavenders. Hydrangea. HB1, 2 and 3. So again, there's definitely going to be some shadow underneath her collar. Definitely going to be some shadow here by her arm. Definitely going to be shadow on the inside of her top. And so I'll go around the edge. And then we're going to blend this out. And now going with the lightest colour again. Blend out anything that hasn't blended. I think that's blended pretty well. And then we'll have her with matching tights. Tight shoes combination. How cool would that be to wear? I mean, I'm not sure about the wings. I think the wings would get in the way a bit. But I mean, I think I could genuinely love wearing some like tights with feet combo. So there's going to be shadow from where her skirt is. I do my thing where I always put it at the edges and the outlines to show the roundness, as her legs would obviously have roundness and be 3D. Going to be some shadowy bits around here coming from this beautiful dandelion. And we go and blend this out with the mid-tone. When I say blend out, you know, you can go all the way up to the edge. Just experiment really and see what gives you the results that you like. I usually do go right up to the edge. So I'm sort of pulling it out with the mid colour. And then, because it's such a small area, I'll just give it a little wiggle so that the lightest colour is sort of blending with the mid colour. Give it a little wiggle. And there we go, that's her clothing done. Yep, I think that's it. I think we'll call her done. What do you think, guys? How cute is she? And I'm feeling in a much happier place now. So thank you for listening to me ramble. And I hope you've enjoyed that little colouring tutorial, and I'll be back in a short while. It may be several days in real life, but I'll be back momentarily. Hi friends, so my little moment the other day of feeling down and wanting to do something to cheer myself up ended up in me colouring all these cute little woodland images, this cute little elf boy and an elf girl, this gorgeous pumpkin house and a little washing line. And then I really wanted to make it into a shadow box card. So I've been watching a Jennifer McGuire tutorial of how she makes a shadow box card with another layer inside. So I'm just at the point where I'm making one. So basically the one that she has done, I'll put a link to it down below in the comment section so you can see which video it is. She's done it on a standard A2 4¼ by 5½ inch card, but because of the size of my pumpkin, that wouldn't, it's wider than 4½, so it wouldn't work for that. But basically, from watching the tutorial, I could figure out the measurements to make a 5½ by 5½ inch card. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm just at the point now where, so this is the main card. So it's 5½ by 5½, so like 11 inches scored in half, and then you cut ½ inch off the back, and then you get another 5½ by 11 inch panel scored at ½ inch, then I think it was 5 inches, then 5½, and basically then when it sort of looks like this, looks like a little box. I think that's what the measurements are. I'll double check anyway, but I'll if I've said it wrong, I'll put the measurements in fact I'll put the measurements in the description box down below anyway. So this goes like a little box inside here, so that when you sort of close the card, it looks like a normal card, but then when you open it, the inside pops up and it's like a box, and where you can see through to the different elements. But I liked the idea of having another layer inside, so I could sort of build up the layering effect. So I'm just at the point where I'm going to die cut the first window out of this panel, and then the inner panel I'm going to cut out a smaller window so you can see a bit more. And these dies that I'm using are really nice dies actually, because they give a stitched effect on the outside and on the inside piece. So I shall do that and do some fussy cutting as well. I'll be back in a moment with some more progress. So I've cut the squares out of both of the panels, and then I'm just going to I'm using this new blending mat that I've just recently got from Craft Stash. Now, so this inside panel is where the pumpkin's going to be at the back layer, and I'm going to use a Grassy Hillside die to create some grassy hillsides, but I also want some clouds, and I've recently got some Distress Oxide in tumbled glass, and I've just swatched it out on this bit of scrap paper. And it's lovely, and I know Distress Oxides are meant to be really good for blending. I'm just trying to build up my collection of Distress Oxides because I haven't got that many. I had a couple of ink pads, but I figured that actually it might be easier for me to just get the re-inkers because they take up less storage space and they're about the same price. So that's what I'm sort of going for and just trying out here. So this is the first time of me using this tumbled glass Distress Oxide, and I love the colour of it. It's gorgeous, and it's really pretty for making these clouds with. Just creating some soft clouds. This cloud stencil that I'm using is from Clearly Besotted. I know that you can get them from a few different places, but I really like this one from Clearly Besotted because it's got the outline that you can do like this, and then it's got sort of smaller ones where you can do like individual clouds depending on what sort of effect you're going for. But I'm really excited about the way this is going to turn out. You know, and I haven't made this type of card before, so it's just fun to try new things. And so all from me being in a bit of a funk, thinking, oh, let's just do something nice, let's just do some colouring, cheer myself up, because that always makes me happy. And it worked, and then I'm going to end up with hopefully a really nice project from it. So I'm gonna say carry on. I haven't done the fussy cutting yet. I need to get the grassy hillside sorted, so I'll be back in a mo. So for anyone that's interested, I use these lawn cuts from Lawn Fawn, simple grassy hillsides. I've used them quite a few times in the past and they come in really handy because they just sort of cut like that and then you can trim down as you need to. So yeah, I just wanted to show you what that looks like. And then obviously, you know, you can ink over the top if you want to give a bit more sort of definition. So I've now decorated the very back panel. I glued the grass that I'd cut out onto that, and then I mounted the pumpkin house with a bit of foam tape onto that again to give some more dimension. And this project is all about dimension and just getting a really nice effect. So the next step is to get this inner panel adhered. So I'm removing the red liner tape. I've chosen to use red liner tape just because I don't want anything falling apart, but a strong liquid adhesive would work just as well. So according to Jennifer McGuire's tutorial, you put this right up against the score line for that piece, and then you close that side onto there and press that down. Okay, so that's that. So you can see that it's starting to look really interesting and cool now. So the next bit is adding this panel onto the main card. So if you remember, we cut a 1/2 inch off the back panel. So I've put some just regular double-sided adhesive on there, but I'm also going to add a bit of liquid glue as well, just in case I need any wiggle time. And you need to sort of butt this right up against the score line, or the crease, should I say. Well, yeah, score line, crease, same thing. Put that right up against there. Make sure it's straight, which it is. I'll fold it over this way, give it a bit of a press down. It really is starting to take shape now. The exciting thing is going to be about thinking about where am I going to put my little bits and bobs. So yeah, I'm just figuring out all these bits and pieces, so I'll be back in a mo. So the next bit is to lay this down flat, remove the double-sided adhesive strip from there, lay this down flat, and then lay that down flat on top of it. Right, so I just lay that down flat and then lay this down on top of it. So these two are now stuck together here. And then when you sort of open it and then it's creased, you can see that the shadow, like the bits of the right sort of height. So the last part of the construction is to adhere this larger flap to the front panel. So I've put two thin strips of double-sided tape on there. So now this bit has to be right to the edge. That meets up fine. There we go. Opens up. And here we go, my friends, the finished card. So you can see it's a 5.5 by 5.5 inch card that fits nicely into a 6x6 envelope. On the front, we have this lovely image of the little elf. I used the clearly besotted cloud stencil to add some clouds and some Sakura jelly roll pen, the sparkle one, to add some bits of sparkle to her wings and around there. And then when we open up, the scene pops up beautifully. I've added shimmer with my Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen to the wings, well, to the whole dragonfly, to the wings of the bee, and again some of the sparkly Sakura jelly roll pen to the bee, the leaves and there, and some white jelly roll pen to the dots on the mushroom washing line. So I'm really impressed with this. I think it's turned out really well. It closes lovely and flat. It's not too bulky to go through the post, and it's just such a lovely surprise when you open up and you see all that. So much dimension, so many layers, and then obviously you can write a personal message on the inside. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like my card. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, if you'd like to see me making more of these kinds of things. And I say thank you so much to Jennifer McGuire for the inspiration. I say I have used her tutorial. If anyone doesn't follow Jennifer McGuire, any crafters, I'd definitely recommend it, because she has so much, she's so talented and she has so many amazing videos. So that's all from me today. If you like the card, then it'd be great if you could give me a thumbs up, and if you like what you see and you haven't yet subscribed or hit the subscribe button, it'd be great if you would, if you feel like you'd like to see more of my content. And that's all from me today. Hope you have a magical day. See and speak to you again soon. Bye.